Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, what more do you say? Coming up. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Come up now. Come on. Stop me. Come on. You coming up.
Hello. Welcome to another Hop series. So happy that you guys have joined us. Morgan's going to be on here in a minute. You know, these computers and all this technical stuff, it is not always friendly. It's not always nice, but we're going to go ahead and get started. And I want you to do a couple of things for me. I want you to invite and I want you to share this broadcast. We are live on YouTube, on House of Peach YouTube channel. We are live on my Facebook channel. We are live on Morgan's Facebook channel. We're live on House of Peach Facebook channel. Oh my goodness, there's so many ways for you to share this. Somebody needs to hear this tonight. Hi, Stacy. So glad you're on. When you get a moment, check your phone because I sent you a message earlier. So I'm going to need you to read that. There's Morgan. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I was just saying how, this technical stuff, it's not very user friendly sometimes. Sometimes it gives us grief. And she gives the look. She gives the look like, I just want to throw it away. Hey, Jackie.
All of it.
Oh, yeah. Just throw the whole computer away. So.
Hey, Stacey, how are you?
So
hey, Jackie.
How's your day been? How things going?
Today's been a rough one, I'll be honest. So, but I'm here.
No, I'm so happy you're here. And hopefully you will have your spirits lifted by the time we get off here tonight, because we want to leave here on a positive note. So hopefully we'll help you de-stress. So we need to do some breathe. Hey, I took this, we did this positive intelligence program. And so when you get all anxious and things going on, it teaches you how to do special breathing and, these fingertip touches and all kind of other stuff. So I'm gonna have to teach you how to do that so you can.
Yeah. I have a somatic therapist. Yeah. I sent him a message today.
Perfect. Hi, Corey. So happy.
I was trying to make sure that everything was still together when everything just popped on, and it's just like you were saying, technology. Anyway, how are you?
I'm good. I am tired because I was in New Jersey, so I did like a pop-up. Right.
Girl, I saw that and I was like,
yeah.
I'm so upset that I didn't get a chance to do one of those skip across the waters real quick.
It was so fast. Like I got in Friday night late, and then I had to get up in the wee hours of the morning, drive to North Jersey, all day workshop, drive back, go to sleep, get up in the wee hours of the morning on Sunday and come back. And get this, I am leaving tomorrow, flying to Georgia until Saturday. And that was like just booked yesterday.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness, it's nonstop. But hey, it is what it is. I'm like, man, I'm more busy now without having a steady 9-to-5 employment than I was when I did have one. Oh my goodness. But hey, thank you, Stacy, for sharing. Yes, share.
Yes, I was like, you do know that they say that these jobs are a distraction from all the other things that you can and should be doing. So, listen, not everyone is meant for entrepreneurship. We have to have employees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not for everyone, but it also is not for just the faint of heart, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like we've been saying, trying to find that balance and trying to figure out, where that cutoff is, because, when you work for someone, you have hours for the most part. You
Right.
know what I mean? And if there's a start and there's a finish, when you're owning it, you have to make the start and the finish, or else it's a never-ending thing.
Yes.
So,
Yes, it is because that's your baby. You know, you're growing it. You're getting it to where you want it to be. So it's going to require extra hours, extra time, some sleepless nights. Yeah, that's yeah. But
that's
people
for the cause.
people need to not use that loosely saying, "Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur." Do you really want to be an
Yeah, do you really? Yeah,
So our guest tonight is going to let us know that. Like, do you really want that?
absolutely. I so funny enough, the last job that I had, shout out to Kapow Food Truck and Kitchen in Glen Mills, PA. Um, yeah, so the owner and I are, pretty tight, and he knows, the ventures that I'm, getting into and what I'm, doing now. And it was one of those things where it was like, hey, you're in the business. I've got some time. He's got resources and information that, I don't necessarily have.
Okay.
I have skills and things that he needs. So it was like a very nice partnership. And it was like, okay, one hand washes the other kind of thing.
Mhm.
And it'd be so funny because our inside joke would be, are you sure you want to do this?
Mm,
And he would say that to me every so often.
right.
And I would laugh and be like, nope. Like, but then there were other days where it was like 100% rise to the occasion, and I could not see not doing it either. You know what I mean? So the reality is we have to be honest with ourselves, and
Yeah.
that's the number one thing. You have to be honest with yourself. The I got a nugget of wisdom the other day that was like, be earnest and intentional with your nose,
Mm,
especially with when you are building.
mm,
Because the reality is this: if we don't give an earnest no,
mhm,
when it is a real no,
mhm.
we can potentially be actually doing ourselves a disservice.
Right.
Can you imagine if I was unavailable or didn't have the time and said yes to a catering for someone's wedding, and then didn't show up? The food wasn't great quality, something was undercooked, I didn't have enough, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
What does that do for me?
Right.
That completely kills my reputation.
Absolutely.
So honesty is something that we have to have in entrepreneurship, on top of just an everyday life,
Mhm.
with being able to say, you know what, is this something that I can do? Is this something that I can't do? If you can't, that's not like a point in your finger like you suck. That's just okay, you're not there
Yeah.
yet. This is something to strive for. This is, it's a build on.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, you got to start somewhere,
Right.
and you have to be able to say, okay, yes, I can do this, no, I can't do this, and no, and eventually it'll still be there. Trust me, this is going to come around again. So if you
Mhm.
have to say no now, it's better to say no now when you're not ready,
Right.
and then be ready so then the next time it comes around it will. Because remember, whatever's for you is for you.
That's absolutely 100% agree with that. And we have to know our limitations. Sometimes we try to push because, oh, we don't want to say no. No, don't try to be a people pleaser and please them thinking, oh,
Right,
if I don't do it now, then I might not get an opportunity. You just said it. The opportunity is going to come around again. They will respect you more by you saying no, that you can't do it right now. Your schedule is too tight, as opposed to you trying to squeeze it in there. And like you said, poor quality, things are not done right, and that will be your demise. That will not go well.
exactly.
So,
Because at the end of the day, what do you have? And any business, whether it's a service or an actual product, that thing sells itself.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, people are technically buying you.
yeah,
You are the brand. It's the you.
yeah,
So if you're not coming to the table correct, then like you said, you're doing yourself a disservice.
absolutely.
So
And I have been
yeah,
incorporating that not only for my business, but my personal life too. And I'm finding that it draws more when I can now, and I'm so much more comfortable just being who I authentically am instead of who I think they want me to be. So when
right.
I don't care what room I step in. It could be a business meeting. I'm coming in like April. I'm gonna be goofy, I'm gonna be silly, I'm gonna make you laugh, but yet I'm gonna give you that quality information and I want to just deliver on the presentation. I want to do that
I love it.
because
I
I'm
love
now being me and I know I'm just giving you me. Like you said, they're buying you. So if you are intrigued with me and you're drawn to me, then whatever I got going on, like I had a lady say, what else does she do? I was talking to somebody else, like, what else does she do? I want to help her do whatever she does, whatever she's trying to do. I want to help her do that. Really? Off a phone conversation? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, definitely do that. Entrepreneurship is a wonderful thing. And it can you can do so much in your life with that. You know, that's what
Yeah,
makes you a millionaire. That's what gets you the millions, billions, and trillions. It's not going to work for somebody on their 9 to 5. You're making them a
right.
millionaire because you got a cap.
Right.
But if you do it on your own terms, the way you want it, the way you envision it to be, the way you see it, and you put that into action, man, the wonderful things that can come out of that. So,
But here's the thing with that, you have to show up every day.
yes,
You have to show up every day because the reality is if you don't wake up and actually put the work towards it, then it doesn't get done.
yes, it's not.
And that
Yep.
includes even with like I have two partners, but at the same time, each one of us has a certain lane.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't wake up and stay in my lane,
Yeah,
then my other partners suffer for it.
right.
Our business suffers. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, you gotta if you don't get up and you don't go to work, then guess what? You don't get paid.
Yeah, yeah,
The same as if you're an employee, but it's even greater because the reality is where else are you getting this income from?
right.
With an employee, you got paid PTO.
Mhm.
You might get a little something. You know
Right.
what I mean? But no, there's no PTO when you own the place
That is
unless
right.
you put yourself, and structure the business to a place where now you can actually do that.
Yeah,
Because yes, we cut ourselves checks, we do get paid,
yeah.
but no, there's no PTO.
Mhm. Yeah, that stuff is just not going to drop out the sky and you're going to look at, oh, my business is flourishing. No, you got to put in the work. So,
Absolutely. Yes. Saying no is saying yes to yourself. I love it. I love
mhm.
it. That is good, Jackie.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta put yourself, you have to take care of yourself. If you run yourself in the ground, you're not gonna be good to anybody. Now, Corey says she remixed a reel about saying no today. It can be a blessing in saying no. Absolutely. Definitely can be a
Yes.
blessing. And then, too, my uncles told me years ago that all money wasn't good money. So, you saying no to a project or to something that you may be sparing yourself from some heartache because you don't know how that other
Yeah.
person, other business or entity is, and you get yourself saying yes, and then you end up getting the short end of the stick and all stressed out. Like, no. So I've
Absolutely.
always remembered that.
Well, I'm glad that you said that. Because actually we kind of just ended up in a situation like that where we
Mm,
were trying to figure out whether or not we wanted to move forward with a few clients who had shown interest, and this was going to be something for the long haul, and we were just like, some things came up that really had us questioning
mhm.
whether or not was this really worth it. And it was a tough decision because it felt like we were leaving money on the
Oh
table.
wow.
But at the same time, it was like, you know what? I believe that God will reward us for making the right decision.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, having integrity
Hmm.
over feeling like, let's just kind of grab up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're past the point where we have to take everything and
Mm,
anything. You know what I mean? Like at this point in time now, we can be intentional, we can be selective. We actually don't have to advertise. Our phone is constantly ringing off the hook for
yeah.
anything else. And that's what you want.
Right.
Yes, that's taken time too.
Yeah.
That, like you were saying, those sleepless nights, those times. And the crazy thing is we all grinded differently and
Hmm.
separately.
Hmm.
So now to have a whole bunch of women come together
Yeah.
to be able to do that, that's what it is. So like that's why I'm like super excited about like our guest today.
Yes. Let's get her, introduce her.
Right. So like we actually kind of go like back. Like I want to say, I guess my teen years, technically early 20s. Um, my husband had okay. Well, I was like, I'll give you guys a little background about her. So her name is Bronte. My husband has a nickname as the Voice of Delaware. That came up in the beginning when he was about 18, 19 years old, doing some shows. And then as we were students at UD, he had an actual radio show. And so that's kind of where it came from. And at one point in time, Bronte was, I believe, a co-host. And so, yes, I was like, that's kind of how I met her. And then over the years, you know, people move and they do things here and there. And then, of course, thank God for Facebook. Eventually, you end up being able to reconnect with people. And when I reconnected with Bronte, I was like,
you're doing what?
Exactly. And the funny thing is, it was a shock at the time because, you know, the last time we had seen each other, we were college students. So now, you know, you add children, you add life, you add all of these other kind of things to it. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. She's a mom, she's doing this. And just over the last few years, every time I turn around, Bronte is doing something new.
Wow.
And I am just sitting over here like in awe, inspired, and then also feeling like all y'all haters can shut your mouth. When you want to sit here and look at people who look like they don't know what they're doing and they're doing multiple things at one time, multiple streams of income is a thing.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes they fuse, sometimes they don't. And that ain't for everybody either.
Right.
Some people can only handle one.
Right.
But when you find someone who can honestly juggle multiple ones and do it well, and then honestly show you and then say, hey, come here. Let me show you how to do this. Those are the kind of people that I want to align myself with. Those are the kind of, because that's the kind of spirit I have.
Right.
Once I got it, trust me, I want to give it to everybody.
Yeah, because there's enough to go around for everyone.
There is most definitely enough to go around.
So many people who want, they just want to hoard what they know to themselves and they don't want to share, like, oh, you're going to take some from me. Do you see how big this world is? It's not just limited to this one little state that you live in. You can do this anywhere. So share the information. Like, I got my paper ready and my pen because I need some notes. I'm going to take some notes of how she does that, because of my mind. Like, I have so many things I want to do, but how do I go about that? And she is going to share.
Exactly. Now, and it's so funny because I've met a few women who have had multiple businesses, but I've never met anyone who runs them the way that Bronte does. And I was like, I'm excited to really get into like the nitty gritty of how she does it, on top of, you know, the fact that she has children.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because that's a big thing for us, especially as entrepreneurs, and especially in, if nothing else, the American society. It's always like, you know, can you do both? Or if you choose not to do both, then there's something wrong with you on one end or the other. If you're if you're a housewife or a stay-at-home mom, then, you know, you're lazy and you don't want to work. You know what I mean? If you're over here working, then you ain't really being a parent because you're neglecting your child. If you're trying to juggle both of them, now self-care, what?
Yeah.
Self who?
Right.
I don't even know what my name is, let alone the day, the time, or what year.
Right. That's why it's so important not to even listen to people. I remember putting a post on Facebook some weeks ago about shutting out the noise. Like, people are going to, you're not going to be able to please them. They're going to say something if you do good. They're going to say something if you do bad. They're just not going to be happy with whatever you're doing. And you
Right.
have to ignore that and do what's best for you. So you want to have multiple streams of income, you want to own multiple businesses, do that. Go for it. You learn how to
Right.
balance. And the thing is, there are people in this world that can teach you about time management. They can teach you about balance. If you aren't for sure, you have all of this going on, but you just can't figure out how to balance it all. Well, then that's where you find folks that masters are in that, and then they can show you, and you can keep everything that you want. You can do everything you want. We don't need to limit ourselves. So, for those that are listening, just know you don't have to limit yourself. You can have as many businesses as your heart's desire. Just learn how to balance. And, like Jackie said, say yes to yourself. You got to take care of yourself. You got to be able to detach and be able to take care of you. And then that's when your businesses flourish. I remember a couple of years ago, I was just really needed to get away. So I
Mhm.
drove, I didn't go far. I drove an hour and a half away from my house. I had booked a room and I stayed in the room the entire time. I ordered in DoorDash. I would go out of my hotel room to get the food. And I didn't talk to anyone. My kids knew if it's an emergency, then you message me, you call me. But if not, no. So I wasn't talking to anybody. And I needed that time just to detach and just get my head together so I could then take on. When you become an entrepreneur, you gonna need some time like that. Like for real, real. You have to. But I'm not
Yeah.
worried about
Maybe, look, maybe that's exactly what I need.
you need to do that. Hey Cheryl, she just tried to call me and then she must have remembered, oh, she's got her show. Yeah, we're on the show, Cheryl. So we're waiting for our guest to get here, but until she gets here, let's talk more and advertise more about our he said she said that we're going to start doing. I'm so excited about that. So Morgan and I are going to decide when we want to do it because we're going to have the set day per month that's going to be specifically for that. And we are coming up on, can you believe we're coming up on a new month? I can't believe
I
that.
know. I know. My baby's gonna be 4.
Oh no, wow.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I'm not sure because we have actually that next weekend we have my husband and I both actually have a pretty big event. And then his birthday is like 2 days after that.
Oh,
Because and it's on a Tuesday. I was like, I might not end up being here for that one only
okay.
because we might be really just
Celebrate.
really getting into
Wait
him
a minute.
exactly
When,
being
when
4
is it your birthday? Tomorrow?
tomorrow.
It's
Yeah.
tomorrow. Happy
It
birthday,
is.
Mom.
Thank
Y'all
you.
put in the
Thank
chat.
you.
Everybody, let's wish her a happy birthday. Ooh, ooh.
Thank you.
Give your cash app. So if they want to give you a little lunch money, then they can get a
Oh,
lunch
well,
money.
yeah, that would be nice. Yes. $ Mo
There we
419.
are. $Mo
Yes.
419. Y'all make that
Thank
cash
you. And
app.
a happy birthday from our producer. Say thank you.
Y'all make that
Yes.
cash
Thank
app
you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank
holler.
you, Corey. Yes, yes.
So, okay, I got
Oh
a
my
question.
goodness.
So, your son is going to be 4. Are
Hmm.
you going to have any more kids? Do you want more kids? Ooh, that would be a hard no. I just
That's a hard no. I will be actually, this was a conversation between my husband and I recently, but I was like, I'll be someone's surrogate, but that's as far as that will go. Yeah.
no.
I'm tapped out mentally when it comes to, kids for myself.
Like I'm done. I'm
Um,
done.
yeah, and it's just because, like I said, there's things I want to do. There's, things that God has really placed on my heart at this point in time. And to be honest, like if I'm in it, like I'm in it. And I don't like to half step
Mhm.
anything, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so like if I were to take on like another child, I know that like I would really have to sit my business down. Like I'm already in a place because, you know, we are now transitioning into homeschooling, and especially to now add Noah into that as well, I might have to take a step back. So I like, thank God I have partners at this time that can be able to carry stuff. But you know, that's a conversation that I did have to have because once again, entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
like, what does this mean? Like, you don't get mental health days. You don't get sick days. Like, imagine if you are a sole proprietor or the only person running your business. If you are sick, that's it.
Yeah.
You have no income coming in. You have no nothing. So that's where we're trying to build right now. We want to be product based. So that in an event that something like this goes on, it's nothing for us to get on for an hour or two or to have scheduled whatever posts to make sure that advertisement for what we have product wise can be able to still be sold while we're doing other things. And for me, especially when it comes to birth work, I have to be a little bit more flexible. We don't know when babies are coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and we don't know how long, exactly. We don't know how long I'm going to be. So at that same time, like I have to start moving a little bit, you know, differently in these spaces with that. So I also believe that if I do have to take a step back, God is going to honor that because I'm doing what I need to do. And once it gets to a place where now I can be able to then put myself back into it, it's going to be as if I never left. And you know, like I said, once again, I thank God for the team that I do have because there have been times where we've been places. Actually, I was at a birth and we had a catering. And and my other two partners were there.
Wow.
And they handled it. And once the baby was born and I actually left the hospital and went straight, and the lady was like, I completely forgot that you weren't even here. And when I say, like, some people will feel some type of way, I was like, Jesus is Lord. Thank God. Thank God. Because, you know, can you, like, when you go to, I hate to shout out like places like this, but like, let's say if we went to Applebee's, right? The Applebee's by me and Applebee's by you probably doesn't taste the same. It should because it's a franchise.
Right.
And there are very, very explicit steps on how things are done. So, and they get a lot of their stuff from a commissary anyway. So it's not like it's a difference of seasoning or what's going on in this, that, and the third. But it's bad because people will say, oh, well, Edward's in the kitchen today. Marlene was in the kitchen today. Don't order this. Or because they're in the kitchen, this is a good day to order a steak. Like it shouldn't be like that. You know, you want to make sure that there's continuity all the way around, regardless of who is there. You know what I mean? Whether that's an actual service or, you know, a product. So.
Yes. Well, I am 100% sure that you will be able to make everything flow like it's supposed to, and everything will work out. You have that mind to be able to do that. So
I do.
Y'all see her Cash App there. Yes. That Cash App. Dang, her birthday's tomorrow.
Yes. So listen, Bronte is stuck in traffic. So we're trying to see if we can get her to, like, what kind of traffic is it? If it's standstill traffic, then she can be able to hop on. You know what I mean? If she is, you know, still kind of moving, then obviously we want her to be safe. And if we're gonna have to, you know, reschedule her like we had to do Jackie, then we'll totally do that. But
yeah, because we can, if it turns out that she cannot come on, then we can make this part 2 of what we talked about. What was that, a couple of weeks ago?
When we were talking about parenting and
we had to do part 2. Yeah, so that was good. Everybody liked that, and they were like, why are we waiting so long to do part 2? My daughter was the main one. She's like, yeah. So,
exactly. Listen, we might just have to make that a month.
Right.
Ooh, that would be a good idea. We could do that as a month and then definitely throw in that he said, she said. That would be really nice because okay, so let's talk about just the difference in parenting, right? Because if you do have, actually, regardless of whether or not it's a 2-parent household or not, men bring one thing to parenting in an equation and women bring the complete a completely different thing. That's not to say that either of the two can't also have properties of the other, because I know a lot of dads who are extremely nurturing.
Right.
And, you know, you want to look at mom like, so, yeah, and over there.
Yeah.
But
Right.
who's to say that there's something wrong with that?
No, there.
Because it's not for everyone. Just like there's men who are just like, listen, I mean, if you want a kid, I'll give you a kid. But just so you know, that's all on you. Like,
Yeah, I can do that, but I have nothing to do with that kid.
yeah,
That
exactly. I'll
it
be an
is
owner.
so interesting the different ways that we can parent kids. And your post that you put on your Facebook page, you asked the
Yeah,
question about the bedtime. That was a very good question, and I put my little 2 cents in because I don't play that in my house. You know, Ariel goes to bed. She's in there by 9:30. If she cuts up, she's in there before 9:30. But her iPad, and now her dad got her this. It's not an Apple Watch, but it's similar to it,
yeah.
where she can make phone calls and you can track her and all that kind of stuff. It has its own separate phone number. Oh my God.
Hmm.
So all of that stuff is with me. Because when you go to bed, there will not be any stimulation in here whatsoever. So all you're going to have is quiet and darkness. Now, she does have a little plug light because she's a
Right,
chicken like that. But
right,
other than that, no, no.
right.
And I
Absolutely.
found out that she's into, what is it called? ASMR, where you listen to sounds and things and it
Oh,
relaxes
really?
you. So I'm here with my cousin, and they have a humidifier in the room that she's in. Is a humidifier, but it has a light and it makes this loud noise. She loves that thing and will be gone in seconds, like
Really?
sleep all night with that stuff. She's
That's
like, I
wonderful.
love this. Like, really? Oh, okay. So you like that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So Noah actually is into the sound bowls and the Reiki, a
Mm,
lot of chakra stuff. I was like, so that's what he likes to actually go to sleep to. Um,
okay.
and it's either that or like very soft, like like gospel, but not, you know what I mean? It's not gonna get you up. It's more like praise and worship, I guess, more than
Okay.
than
Okay. Yeah.
anything. It
Yeah.
was like I was like he'll listen.
Okay.
I was like, to listen to that. But what spurred that is, so there was an accident yesterday in our town. So we ended up with a email at 1 o'clock that was like all the power is going out in the town around 2 to 3:30, and it'll be out for about 8 to 10 hours.
Oh my.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. So I'm like, of course, I'm at work. So I knew by the time I was coming home, I was coming home to like no lights.
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right, well, now I got to figure out dinner because nobody can cook. And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll go out. But then I realized, well, you're not going out nowhere in the town either.
And nobody can deliver anything to you.
Ain't nobody, no, exactly. The only thing that was open was Wawa.
Oh my.
And Wawa was only open, I think, because of generators,
Yeah.
but they could only do cold food. And because I'm in food, I looked at my boys, I was like, I don't trust
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I don't
no.
listen. I've managed too many restaurants to for me to be like,
Right.
I don't know how that's working.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they were safe or else they would not be serving food. That's not what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But at the same time, for me, that just wasn't a comfort level. So we ended up going, another town or so over. So by the time we got back, I was not rushing in the house, especially with Noah wired on 10 to be like, just sit in a dark house. So yes, she said, I was so bad I had to eat a Wawa sandwich. See, so you exactly knew, Peach, what I was talking
She
about. I
feels
walked
your
in there, I was
pain.
like, my boys were eating a cold cut sandwich today. They would have been hot too. They would have been so mad.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in the car. It's like 10:30 something. Eventually the lights come back on at like 11:15, something there like that. So we see, a couple of the lights pop on in there, and the kids are like, yay. So we go ahead, get in the house, and then I'm talking to my oldest, and all of a sudden, I'm in my room, he's standing, in the doorway,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden we both hear his phone. And I was like, what is that? And he was like, my phone is ringing. I said, who is calling you at 11 o'clock? And this was not a reprimand for him at all, but it was like, who the heck is on the other end? He goes, Mom, it's a school group chat. And they were FaceTiming.
What?
I looked at him, I said, what? He said, yeah, Mom, it's like 20 kids. I said, pause. Josiah, it's after 11.
Right.
He said, Mom, these people don't care. The kids don't have no bedtime. There's no restriction as far as phones. There's no, and that's why which is why I made the post, because I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So, like, am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? So, thank you again. So, I was like, Kai, I've known her. I grew up with her. She is just that chick. Okay? Because that's exactly where I would have gone with it. Notice I didn't even respond because she handled it.
Yeah.
It was what she said. And she was very, for someone who doesn't have a child, she's a social worker. So she came from another standpoint.
Yeah.
This is who you're gonna have to deal with if we're not parenting the right way.
Exactly.
This is somebody who you're gonna have to talk to if we're not manning these things.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't tell people how to run their households at all. What you do in your house is what you do in your house.
Right.
But when what you're doing in your house comes over into mine, that's when I start saying something.
Yeah. Yeah.
My kids know, period. I don't care whether it's my bonus boy or it's Josiah. 9 o'clock, it goes off. And as far as I'm concerned, that's because nothing good comes after 9 o'clock, period.
No.
It's
the same thing that I do with Ariel now, I did with my other kids. And my oldest daughter will be 24 in June. And they all, same thing. Your laptops, anything that can make noise and you can communicate on, it's coming in my room. You don't need that. You're going to sleep. And then you're going to end up, like you said, her response was, it just said it all. And I'm like, yeah, that is right. Because when they get older, they're going to be in therapy. They're not going to be able to sleep at night. They're going to, I mean, she said, from you taking the electronics away to kids tearing stuff up. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're going to tear up my house?
I actually just saw I'm not sure if it was on TikTok or whatnot, but there was a doctor that was talking about how being on electronics, like I have an aunt who always tells me, you need to be asleep at least between 10 and 2 every day. You know, especially when we're talking about entrepreneurship. She was like, because that's when your body and especially your brain does the most regeneration and the most healing and rejuvenating for what you need the next day. So if nothing else, between 10 and 2, you need to be asleep.
Yeah.
Well, this man took it further. He was like, between 10 and 4 in the 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning. What is going on in your brain if you have electronic at all, whether it's a TV, a phone, a laptop, whatever, the lights actually do something to the chemical balance of your brain, which causes depression. So he's like, yeah, so your kids is out here depressing themselves.
Oh, wow.
Because they on the phone after 10 o'clock.
Wow.
And I was like, he said, yes, the lights and everything, it literally changes the makeup of the brain. Why, like, that's real.
Yeah, I don't.
When we put those ear pods in our ear, that's literally putting a microwave in your ear. Remember, everybody wanted to talk about Hillary Clinton not being competent because she had tumors, but that was on the same side that she was holding the phone to her head.
Wow.
Because it is radio waves, and now we done upped it to somebody's 5G.
Yeah.
That's real. I know I sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, but it's real. I'm coming from a medical sense. I have family where women, please stop putting your phone in your bras.
Yes, do not
stop
do that. Yes,
stop it. Yes. I have had family pass with tumors in the shape of the cell phone in the breast. Really? Wow. Men, stop putting your phones in your pocket. You're nuking your balls, and then you want to, like, I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but you're nuking your jewels. That's real. You're nuking your jewels, and then think about this. So if that's what you're doing, let's talk about the quality of your sperm.
Mm.
So now
Mhm.
we're talking about the quality of our children. So
Yeah.
not only do women, we have to worry about what we're doing as far as reproductive and what, environmentally and hormonally, what we're doing for our bodies for quality of egg. But now, brothers, what we doing as far as the quality of sperm as well.
Yeah. And we don't know, taking a step further, we don't know what the chromosome or genetic makeup in that sperm, what's happened inside. So even if
Right.
it does connect with the egg and it does that, then what's going to go on with this now
What's the
fetus,
outcome?
this embryo that's developing, because we don't know what's deep
Exactly.
down in there going on. So we have to really,
Exactly.
yeah. So my phone, I keep my phone on only because my family is everywhere, and
Okay.
if anything happens with my kids, but nobody bothers me. I keep it turned upside down because if I
Okay.
get a notification, I don't want it to light up and then for some reason, but I
Right.
listen to meditation. So I do guided meditations every night, because when I tell you my brain does not shut down, it does not shut down, but I have to shut it down. So that's
And that
why
works
I have
for
not,
you?
that guided meditations is what I do. And I listen to it and I focus on it, and then boom, like I listened to it last night. I don't even know, it was playing for 4 hours. I had been asleep for 4 hours, gone, just relax. I woke up this morning like, oh wow.
All right, I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to try
Best
that.
sleep you will ever get. It's on YouTube, and I just type in guided meditations, and it'll tell you about breathing and whatever, and focusing. And when I say within 5 minutes or less, comatose, gone. And that's how I was able to start getting the best sleep ever from doing that. Because otherwise, I'm laying in bed and my brain is just going, just going. I'm thinking about this and this and this. I do so much every day. And so I'm like, you know what? I got to calm this down because I got to be able to sleep. I don't want to wake up in the morning like I've been fighting in the middle of the night. I want to do that,
Right.
you know?
Absolutely. Corey, you are so right. You said we need to keep it away from our body as we sleep, especially our heads.
Yeah.
Exactly. I actually saw someone who I believe is in the electronic world and was saying that you shouldn't even charge your phone in your room. The amount of radiation that goes on, yes, it fills the room. And definitely don't be on the phone while it's charging because it's then right through the
Wow.
hand into your body.
See, I'm learning something new. Now I'm scared. I'm gonna put that phone in the hallway. Get out.
Yeah, but so it's funny because so Josiah's phone ends up being so at first when he first got because he just got a phone. But when we first did it, it was charging downstairs in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
But then the problem was at 6 o'clock in the morning when the alarm was going off, homeboy was not hearing it. He wasn't getting up. And then it was like, well, who is going downstairs to go turn that off?
Uh-huh.
I need to know when to say sleep for a little bit longer, like, like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
then it was you have to make a little bit of an adjustment. Then I had it in my room. I was like, so we're still trying to figure out what is the best place for it so
Mm-hmm.
that it's effective. I bought him an alarm clock, so I was like, now this way we don't have to worry about the phone at all.
Mm-hmm.
The alarm clock can go off,
Right.
although it's louder than the phone was. But at least I know he hears it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can get up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I was like, then, we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, we have to troubleshoot and figure out what is going to be best for us, what's going to be best for our kids. I know a lot of the times, they are diagnosing ADHD. Your child ain't ADHD. Your child is sleep deprived.
Yeah. That's pretty much what
That's
it is.
real. You want to talk about behaviors? Your child is
Mm-hmm.
sleep deprived.
Yep.
Children need, people like to play around with sleep,
Yeah.
but a high schooler and a middle schooler, they still need at least 10 to 12 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Noah still needs at least 14 hours of sleep as a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to have it all at one time. He might get 10 to 12 as far as, during the night. And then he takes a 3-hour nap during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get to a certain place, sometimes I'm all about it. And if y'all haven't checked out the nap ministry, check it out. The nap ministry on IG is it. It's all about being able to find a place, not always being on the grind, knowing how to sit down, but then also, yeah, go take a nap.
Yeah.
It is beneficial to us. In China, that's all they do is nap. They actually cut out in the middle of a work day. They have nap time.
Mm-hmm.
They're more productive.
Yeah. Yes, I could use a nap in the middle of the day. And for me, being so busy, and I don't know if you can, attest to this, but I'm so busy during the day. And then at a certain point, when I get sleepy and I want to take a nap and I'm able to do that, I feel like I shouldn't because I'll
You
be
feel
so
guilty.
unproductive.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
like I
No,
can do
that
it
is very productive. It's self-productive.
yeah, so now it's like, okay, I'm sleepy. April, just go lay down and take a nap. And then when you wake up, you can finish doing whatever, or a new idea, a new something. You have more strength or more energy to do it. Yeah, I would not do it. My kids were always just take a nap, just go to sleep. Like, no, I need to do this, I need to do that. And they're rolling their eyes like, Mom, really?
Exactly.
Just
I think you texted me last week something, and when you had texted me, you're like, call me when you're free. Funny enough, I was taking a nap. And that's why it took me some time to call you back because I'm starting to listen to my body a little bit more,
Mhm.
especially because I feel like I'm constantly running. If my
Yeah,
body says we're gonna sit down, I don't care what it is, I'm sitting down.
yeah,
Somebody else will have to figure it out, get someone else to do it.
right,
But I'm gonna
right. Yes. So,
you
yeah, so Jackie
know.
said to do the meditation with the black screen. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to, Jackie, you might have to call me and
You might
tell
have to
me
check that out.
how
Yeah.
to do that because I can do that with looking at it on YouTube. No, okay.
Yo, Corey.
Yes, that's strong business women. Yes, we've got these strong voices. We can.
Look, my strong voice, right? I think my strong voice canceled out my dictation because right now my phone does not want to talk to text. I'll be over here like, why is it not?
Worn out. But yeah, so back to the parenting. I have been out so many places and seen so much with kids. I'll never forget my three oldest kids. They were little, and we were in Ohio. We went out to a restaurant. Like I'm a disciplinarian, and so not to the point of being abusive, but to the point where you're gonna know how to behave when you go out in public. You know how to behave when you're at home, how we talk to people. So we went out to this restaurant and we're sitting there, and I kid you not, to the table next to us, these people were there and they had their kid. I think it was just one, maybe one or two of them. And when I say they were wilding out, I mean just straight crazy in this restaurant. And my kids were looking at me like, what is that all about? I said, yes, we don't do that. That's not. And so then a lady's passing by. They were like, oh my God, your kids are so good. I said, yeah, my kids know I'm two steps from crazy, and they better not try me in this restaurant today. But my kids there has to be some boundaries, some levels. Like, I'm not telling you to beat your kids, but if you start them early in the infant stage, Ariel,
Yes.
when she was like 3 or 4 months old, she knew what no meant. No, no, and she'd stop. And you build that pattern so they know it. If you wait until they get 6 or 7 and you want to try to discipline them, and yeah, okay, they're gonna show you just how that happens. Right.
Listen, I grew up with a mom who we would hide when we went out because we would always see those kids who would be acting funny style, and my mom don't know how to hush. I will never forget. So my dad is like a very cool, like just in the background kind of guy. So he we're all like hiding because this girl, when I say this girl was cussing her mom out in the next booth,
Oh
like
wow.
yelling. She was really disrespectful.
Oh wow.
And my mom got up and told the girl to move over in the booth and proceeded to tell her how disrespectful she was to her mother, how she owed her mother respect, how her tone and the way she was talking to her mother, the only thing that she was getting out of that was making sure that she took some years and some days off of her life. My mom was spitting scripture like, listen, the Lord God said, honor your mother and your father so that your days may be long on this earth. And what you doing right now is making your days short. Okay.
Shorting them way down. What?
Listen, and we all like, listen, my dad was like, check. Paid the check. He was like, come on,
Come on,
kids.
let's
Like,
go to the car.
we were sitting in the car waiting for her. And she was blessing this child out.
Oh,
And
wow.
at the end of the funny thing is, though, you can tell when a real parent appreciates somebody else doing something like that, because she could have been like, who the heck are you to be talking to my kid? Da, 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 da. But she thanked my mom profusely for, she was like, thank you so, so much. Like, you have no idea. My mom's like, no, I do. I heard it. I can only imagine.
Right. You were in there.
But I dare you to do that again,
Right.
unless you want to see me again.
Right.
And that, listen, I would love to know how that that girl turned out. She was like 13 at the time, but the eyes, the head, the whole 9 yards, and
that just makes something run all through me. Like,
doesn't it? I know. I was like, literally the hair on my arms.
Here. Oh my goodness.
That's right, Corey. Yes, exactly. Spare the rod, spoil the child, but that definitely does not mean to abuse them. There isn't even a thin line. There is a huge fat line between disciplining and abuse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when we get to a place where it's like, okay, you know what? Now, honestly, we haven't doled out any spankings recently because we are on a more gentle parenting strike right now, and it's working out a lot better for us. But I have this thing where we have to have a conversation. I'm not just going to beat you and then walk away.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is abuse. There needs to be also some kind of uplifting on the other end as well. And I don't know who it was, but growing up, I remember someone that I think it was my friend's mom. She used to beat them and then tell them she loved them. And I used to be like, what? But it was to bring them back around. It was a listen, we have had this conversation. You know what the standard is. This was the boundary. You completely and explicitly, crossed it. And so now this is what the consequence is. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. That doesn't mean I hate you. That doesn't mean that I don't forgive you. And you know what I mean? And so you bring them back up. You don't just leave them on the ground and keep pushing. You know what I mean? You have to build them back up, because that's where Satan, I believe, comes in just on a spiritual realm and allows all the negative things to get into your kids. And then you really have to do something. That's how we end up with kids hurting themselves or really running away or whatnot, because they don't hear half the stuff that we say. They get the last ins and bits. And it was just like, what you did disgusted me, but all they heard was you disgust me.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Ariel has been, since we've been here, at first it was okay, but these past few days, she's been forgetting who I am. And I told her, listen, I've been sparing you from getting the spanking that you would need to get. But I am not going to keep saying the same thing to you over and over again. If I say no, it is no. You're not going to beg and whine and beg me to change my mind. No, what you're doing is making me mad. So then when I get you, that's going to be on you. So I've raised all my children the same way. They know. My son, my only son, and it was just me and the girls and him. And he had some things. Now, when I carry him, now this is so true, and I didn't even know it, but they tell you when you carry a child that whatever you're feeling and whatever that then now transfers to the kid. So when I carried my son, I was so angry the entire 9 months, very, very angry. So my son was born like he was angry. So when he was biting kids in the daycare, and then the next thing I know, as he got older, he would get so mad that he was like kicking the wall, kicking the door. He punched a hole in the wall one time. And I remember having this boy jacked up in the corner. I said, listen here, I'm going to have to handle you differently. And this is not going to happen in my house. And so I began to work with him in a different way. Now,
Mhm.
my son, he's 17 years old. He's never been in jail. He's never had any big, really big thing happen. He
Mhm.
is, when I say super respectful, straight, just about straight A student. Like I had to realize that my son, I had to handle him differently than I did the girls. Because
Right.
look,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, boys, I don't have girls, but I can imagine. I was like, boys are definitely different than
yes,
girls, but every single child is different.
yeah,
When I had Josiah, I definitely had him in a space where I was questioning a lot of things. I
mhm,
was unsure of who I was, and so I birthed that. Noah, on the other hand, was in a completely different space in my life. And so he actually is who I want to be.
oh,
And
wow,
that is hard to parent as well
mhm,
because he triggers a lot of stuff.
oh wow, yeah,
Be- And it's a trigger because guess what? This is not a child you can make do anything. And that's
mm,
because guess what? I did not want to any longer be controlled. I wanted to be in a space where I could authentically be myself.
mhm,
Well, Noah came here as himself. And when I say he is a natural boundary setter, it is the most refreshing thing that I've ever witnessed. I learned so much from both of my kids,
mm,
so much from both of them. And especially my oldest, like him and I are in the same space right now. So even what I'm dealing with in therapy, I'm able to then transpose and help him with
mhm,
because it's almost like looking myself in the mirror. I'm looking at myself when I was 12, when I was 13.
wow,
My son is saying the same things to me that I felt at the same age.
mhm,
So now for me as a parent, I feel like my charge is to be the parent that he needs and the parent that I felt like I needed at that time. And it's not that my parents didn't do a good job,
mhm,
but at the same time, sometimes who was it that said oh, it was Stacy. I remember hearing this, it hurts me more than it hurts you and it never made any sense. It's like
yeah.
one of those kind of
Yeah, like, what do you mean? How are you getting hurt?
things.
I'm the one feeling the pain. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But think about it, it really does rip you to shreds to have to do that. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, well, what exactly am I getting? That's the only reason why we've pulled back from the spanking right now,
Mhm.
because we felt like that wasn't getting us anywhere.
Yeah.
There is most definitely discipline. There is most definitely a taking away of privilege, a taking away of
Mhm.
something that actually matters. But I mean, once I witnessed my brother was like, my brother's 6'7", okay? He wears a size 17 shoe. He is huge. Yes. This boy takes a lick and keeps on ticking. My mom is all of 5'2",
He's
5'3".
not doing anything.
It got to a point
Wow.
where she was like, Morgan, and my little behind was over there jumping. Jumping him because it was like I'm too small and too old to be doing this. You
Right,
get
right.
away, and I'm over here like, what you doing? Like you're not gonna make my mama crazy. Like you know what I mean? I'd have to be jumping up to do that, to do that too. So when it comes to discipline, I think we need to definitely be intentional. But then
Mhm.
also, like you were saying, you also had to take a look at you because this is what you produced. That's the hardest thing as a parent to
Yeah,
realize that the reason why your children are the way that they are is because of you. You
yeah,
taught them that.
yeah. And I had to forgive myself because I was so guilty as I looked at each one of my kids and where I was in life when I had them and with the environment that I had them in when I raised them. My kids are like all over the place. Like my oldest daughter, she deals with, self not really loving who she is, and deals with depression from time to time.
Mhm,
And, she's a beautiful young lady, beautiful, very smart, very talented. But I dealt with that.
mhm.
I was that way. And then my next daughter, she's my wild child. Oh my God, she is wild and out there. But I'm not wild now, but I'm living my life more. So she's living her life. And
Exactly.
although
You
but
birthed who you're becoming now. That's
and
what.
although, some of the stuff that she's doing might be a little questionable. And I'm like, yeah, I might not do that, but she's living her life on her own terms. It's like
Right.
nobody can tell her what to do.
I love it.
And I get that, but at some point in time, you need to take some wise counsel. But she's just doing it. My son, he's real laid back. He's cool. He knows what he wants, but he's not getting all ruffled up. But you're not going to cross him and you're not going to disrespect him because then he'll handle it. But other than that, you don't have any problems. And then Ariel, she's just living her best life. Not a care in the world. Just happy, just talking, having friends. She wants to have her way because she's spoiled, but just looking at them and they all different areas. Like she's connected to my hip. Like I cannot, she's just there. But when I carried her, I almost lost her. And so I was on complete bed rest, in and out of the hospital. And all I had to talk to was her. So this is why she's constantly on me. And I'm like, Ariel, can you just slide over for a minute? She wants to be right up on me, but we birth, just like you said, we birth who we are and what we want and who we want to be. And, we have to handle the kids this differently. We cannot discipline them the same way. So for,
Right.
One kid, you might be able to take things away that they love, and that hurts
Right.
enough for them to say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore because I don't want that taken away. Then there's other kids, you're going to have to do a little bit more to them to get their attention.
Exactly.
But recognizing, because I had to learn, you cannot do these kids all the same way. You cannot. Like my oldest daughter, I could just talk to her and be firm with her and now break her down. She's crying and then I'm done.
Exactly. That's my oldest. It's all about tone. It's all about tone.
Yeah.
With Noah, Noah has a thing about being heard. So you can get to him if you actually listen to him.
Yeah.
So he's the child you have to listen to. Once you listen to him, then you're like, oh, okay. Well, I want this. This is what he's saying. Oh, that's easy. Okay, so this is how we get to this. You know what I mean? So we actually I avoid a lot more altercations with Noah by being able to just deal with him in that way. That's not to say that he doesn't get his own way. Like oh my gosh, he's still in that 3 stage where just randomly will burst out into tantrums for like, so my oldest made him a grilled cheese. And at the time he didn't feel like eating it. So we went out, we came back, and now he's hungry. So, my husband's like, well, you can eat the grilled cheese. Noah goes, takes the grilled cheese, walks into the kitchen, puts the grilled cheese in the microwave, turns the microwave on. Now, my husband is like, what the heck? And I looked at him and I was like, I keep trying to tell you, this is what I do with him all day. Noah can fry an egg. Noah can cook a lot of different things. Like Noah is gonna be the next chef in the house. Okay. Yeah. So and he gets his stool. He's very independent. He knows how to ask for help and will ask for help. But if he didn't ask for it, you better leave him alone.
Oh, okay. Let him do it.
Let him do it. I will
ask if I want it. If I don't, I got it.
And he is very, very he's very detailed about what he needs as far as his help as well, which I love. Yeah. He's not just a blanket, I need help. He's like, I need help with this, and this is where I can't do it. Or he'll just be like, he gets frustrated because he can't do it anymore. Like right now, he's starting to get frustrated because he can't read, and everybody's got to read for him. So now he's really getting ticked. So that is going to make sure Noah's going to probably be reading by Christmas.
Oh yeah, he'll be reading soon.
I was like, that's how he does. I showed him how to zip up his coat 2 times. That boy is a master at it now. Yeah. Right now we're working still on like shoes and stuff, but he'll come over to my son and be like, well, my foot is in, but I can't get my heel in. And I tried to put my finger in, but it won't go in. So can you help me?
Oh, very detailed. Very detailed. Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Love him.
I don't listen. This is who I want to be. So when I say I am learning from him, I am learning from him. So of course now the grilled cheese is a little too hot for him to take out the microwave. So my husband's standing behind him and he goes, Dad, can you take it out? So when he goes to take it out, his finger, makes an indentation in the bread as he hands it to him.
Oh, that did not go well.
Down. But he put a hole in there. I wanted it to be whole. And it was
My
like, it's the
goodness.
same sandwich. But
Right.
there's a whole, like,
Like the whole, oh
I was
yeah,
gonna
just
cry.
crumbled his world.
Right. And so my husband's like, well, you're not getting anything else to eat. And he's like, I'm not eating this. And he's like, yes, you are. You don't have a choice. You're going to eat this or you're going to get nothing else. And of course, now he's working up even more. So now I'm
Mhm.
sitting in the background looking at my husband like, do you not see what you're doing over here to this little boy? Like, you are really riling him up for like no good reason. So I looked at him. I said, Noah. He said, I said, do you want me to take that piece out of the sandwich? And he goes, yes.
That's all you needed to do. Just
So I
cut
took the sandwich and all I did was right where the thumbprint was, right? All I did was actually rip that little piece off. I went to go hand him the rest of the sandwich because I heard him say, I just wanted it whole. So I
Mm.
dare not give him this little piece that I ripped off here. Do you know that boy took the little piece? He ate that first and then took the rest of the sandwich and then walked out the room.
I know your husband
Stopped
wasn't
crying and
eating.
everything. My husband was looking at me like,
How do you know to do that? What is this? Yeah.
I
Y'all
laugh and I
learn.
say it's because I'm the cusp baby. You know, tomorrow is the last day of Aries season, and then it goes into Taurus. He's a whole full-blown Taurus. So the
Oh
two of
my.
us, like, yeah, my husband's the Aries, Noah's the Taurus, and I'm right in between. So I get them both.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
And
my
so
goodness.
yeah, I was like, it's been interesting trying to find other ways because it's frustrating. I want you to like Noah likes to play when it comes time to like put your coat on. That's a
Yeah.
game. Do I look like I
Mm.
have time? But now I have to figure out how to not like I can't squash that though.
Mm-hmm.
Because believe it or not, that changes who he is. Like
Yeah.
he needs to have that because when I look at my oldest, I realize I squashed that in my oldest.
Mm.
That's why he's so daggone serious. He can't take a joke. And I feel so bad
Yeah.
for him. I'm like, Dag, I did that.
Yeah.
Like, can you laugh
Yeah.
and live a little, please? Like you choose
Yeah.
serious for your own good. I am that way too. But like we need we need to sprinkle a little Noah in this bag over here
Right. Let's
to
lighten
kind of
up a
even
little
it
bit.
out a little bit. You know?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So
Wow.
I get like what you're saying as far as like the guilt and stuff. And it's but here's the thing:
Mhm.
please be gracious with yourself. They don't come with manuals. We are all healing. We are
Yeah.
all learning. The only thing that we know is how we were raised.
Yes.
So
And
until you really take a look at that, and like I said, at no point in time is that an X or a red mark or a red flag. Sometimes it is, but it's, you know what I mean? Not all the time. Like I don't have anything negative to say as far as my upbringing. But at the
mhm.
same time, I know that there were things that were done that could have been done differently that
Yeah.
may have had a different result as far as certain things in my life is
Yeah.
concerned. You know what I mean?
100% agree.
And
Even
so
for
once we
me as
figure
well.
those things out, then we can be more intentional as parents for our own children so that
Mhm.
we're not repeating the same thing. I'm not going to say my kids won't end up in therapy, but they'll probably need less therapy than I do.
You need some.
At
You
least
need a
Noah
little
won't.
bit. You don't have to get the mother load like I did. You get a little bit. Yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
little bit. Exactly.
Just a little bit. But we learned, like you said, there was no manual. It's trial and error. And you try it out there. Okay, that's not working. Let me try something different the next time. So, everybody, every situation, every household is different. You find what works best for you and not allow outside people to say, oh, if it was me, I would do this. No, but it's not you.
But it's
And
not
they're
you.
not your
Exactly.
kids. And they don't have your personality. They don't live with you. So I see them on a regular basis. This is how I'm going to handle them. Just as
Exactly.
Corey said, when my youngest was little, he was upset his dad cut his sandwich into fours. He said, why do you do that? Oh my
Yes, I'm telling when
goodness.
I say three, that 2 to 3 year old age, it'd be so funny because they
Oh
do
my
the
goodness.
weirdest.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
They do the weirdest things.
Oh, the joys of parenting. Yeah, I don't want any more either. So whoever I marry, he better be content with the ones I have, or he had better have some. I actually, if you don't have any kids, then you're not a candidate. Because there will be no
There you go.
kids.
Well, actually, so here's a question for you. Would
Oh God.
he,
Oh God.
would he be a candidate if he had a child that is younger than Ariel?
Oh my God. How much younger we talking, Mo? Ooh.
Maximum 5 years.
Oh God.
So her age and down 5 years.
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I could do that.
Really?
I
Okay.
yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
I could.
Listen,
Yeah.
we said if for whatever reason financially we were in the place and in a space where we could be able to do that, that we would adopt.
Mm.
Um, but we would be adopting between the ages of Noah and Josiah. So
Mhm. Yeah,
they
I'll
will
be
all
anything.
they will all be out. Yes. And as just to piggyback off of what you were saying, um as an adoptive parent, you also do have to take into consideration you are raising someone else's whole full child. So
Yes.
you have to understand that how you say certain things, how you deal with certain things, um, that's not you at all
Yeah.
genetically. But
Yeah.
then that child also, it's the nature and nurture is real in that situation.
Mhm.
So as much as you have genetics and you can't do anything about that, it's also what you instill in that child as well. You know what I mean? And as
Yes.
I've gone through, my search journey, meeting birth family and everything else, I've realized and can be able to now pinpoint the things that are the nature versus the nurture, and then be
Mhm.
able to, figure some other things out from that. But just be gracious with yourself and especially with the child, because now they're here with their own stuff, both their parents' things and now yours,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
can't expect them to have it all together. They're just not. Um,
Yeah.
so be gracious
We
and
we need to do a show about adoption and what that's like from the child's perspective, and get some feedback from that. It would be great if we could have some, a couple of kids be on just to let us know how it would be, how it is for them being adopted, or adults. You definitely can give
yeah.
some
I've met
insight into
a
that.
couple of adults that we can definitely be able to, to talk to. Adoption, when it comes to children, is a little different. Having conversations with them.
Mhm.
The adoption agency that I was adopted through does an amazing job of having mentorship, because they
Oh,
are
okay.
hell bent on now all open adoptions. They do not do closed adoptions. It causes a lot of trauma, especially for the adopted child. Uh,
Mhm.
and it makes it harder also for the adoptive parent as well. So, you know what I mean? In trying
Mhm.
to work on some of these things, they, they have a mentorship. So I had the pleasure of being a mentor for about 2 years with middle school age children that all
Mhm.
were aware that they were adopted. They were all in open adoptions, and to hear their perspective on adoption really like took me aback, only
Mhm.
because there's a huge difference between adoption in the 80s and adoption now.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people also think that, in the African American community, we don't really adopt. We adopt more than people know, because especially in kinship adoption. So we're not necessarily going to somebody's agency and, I hate to say this, but like paying for a child, so to speak. Like that's not what we're doing, but we always end up with someone else's child, whether it's kinship or it's somebody that the neighbor, this, that, and the third,
Right.
somebody down the street. We always are taking people in. And so to find, adoption within our community, that's something that is very, very common. Um,
Mhm.
even take that back even into slavery. Uh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Well,
so
we
I
have
can't wait to do one
so
of those. Yeah, listen, we once again coming up with even more,
right. This
more
is where we're
content.
going. And we're just having a conversation with each other and our viewers. And here we are. This stuff is just coming. So now I'm gonna have to really meditate tonight to shut my brain down. So I'm like, oh my God, let me write this down. What else we need to do? Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. We appreciate you guys coming on tonight. Corey said, I read a post where God said, I sent you your husband, but you said he had on rockaware. He might have to been April. I'm just talking. Yeah, I know. I'm not strict. Right now, I am just I'm ready, but I have been doing more work on myself since I've been here, and it's been great. Like I don't know how people respond out to you differently when you start really doing more. Like, for instance, yesterday I went to the tire place because I got to get new rims for my car. And, I dressed real cute and everything. I was, real dainty. And I was walking up to the door, and this guy watched me walk across the parking lot. And he stood up and opened up the door. He's like, Good morning. You have a good day. I'm like, Thank you.
I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling
Right,
myself.
right.
Yes.
So as soon as I walked in the place, everybody's looking. I was like, oh, this feels good.
Don't it? Yes, April. Yes. I love
So
this for
I'm
you.
preparing. Getting myself ready. I'm prepared. I am preparing. So, but
Yes, look.
anyway,
So listen, exactly. That husband need to be looking like that. Okay. I need him breaking necks. Like, okay, y'all, listen. No other eyes. This one right here, God said
right,
this one right
right.
here.
So, hey, I just continue to prepare and work on me. But y'all, we are way, way over our time. See, this is what happens when we get together on the Hop series.
Yes.
You never know what you're going to get. So we will reschedule Bronte because we
Yes.
definitely want to make sure that we get all the nuggets that tell her she's going to have plenty of time now to prepare. And
That's
we
what
need
I
some
told her. She was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, she tried
answers.
to get on too, and like she was having technical difficulty just like we did.
Okay.
So
No
I was
worries.
like, listen, we will reschedule. We are super excited and cannot wait to talk to you.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Bronte, listen, your spot is here. It is safe. We will give you a new date and make sure that it
For
works with
real.
your schedule. And trust me, the people will be
Absolutely.
waiting and ready.
Yes, we will. So next week, we have Stacy Gregory, who's on here right now. She is our guest next week, and she is the owner of Human Resources for Me. And she's going to come and tell us all about everything that she does because I believe it's one with multiple things underneath it as well. So I'm still waiting on the picture, Stacy, and the bio, Stacy. I gotta put you on blast on all over the
Well,
internet.
listen, I got some HR questions for you, Stacy. So I can't wait to listen. Yes, I will be here next week. So I listen, can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yes. Yes. So we did. So today technically was part two of our parenting style and all of that good stuff. So this was part two today. And then we will let you know we're going to start our he said, she said. So we're going to have some men come on, the ladies come on. We're going to have a panel. We're going to talk it up from the man's perspective and from the woman's perspective, which
Yes. So please, 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 if you would like to participate, get
yeah,
either
absolutely.
one of our inboxes. This way we can make sure that we get you what you need so that you can actually be on here with us,
Yes.
and prepared to do this. We cannot I'm excited about this. I'm
Yeah, it's
excited.
going to be a no judgment zone. We're not going to be attacking. This is not a male bashing or female bashing. This is to help. I'm coming to learn. I'll put my 2 cents in, but I'm going to be quiet because I want to learn. I never know what the man going to say that's going to help me out. You know what I mean? Or
Exactly.
married couples or whatever. I want to know it all because I want to make sure that I do what I'm supposed to do. We appreciate you guys being on here. We appreciate you sharing. You got to do that for us every single Tuesday. You got to share. Share this broadcast. We are on everything you can think of, from YouTube to Facebook and beyond. So make sure you
Yes.
share. We have such great information. I hope you're inspired because that's what we came to do. We came to inspire you, to motivate you, to push you into destiny to manifest what you want. And it's not just one thing. We're talking about everything. We talked about health and parenting. We're going to talk about relationships, entrepreneurship. We're talking about it all. There is no topic. Wait a minute. Let me watch that. I was going to say there's no topic that we won't discuss. I better retract that. Let me think about it, because somebody might come up with a topic that I might say, oh, yeah.
Look, I'm over here trying to think. I'm like, is there anything that we wouldn't discuss?
Maybe there isn't. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. Listen, if it's controversial, bring it on. I'm a black sheep. So
and yeah, that'll be a good, whatever it is, inbox us. We definitely want to make sure that we talk about and discuss and bring on what you want. It's not about me and Morgan. It's not. It's about you guys.
We're here for you guys.
Yeah, we're just facilitators. That's what we are. We're facilitators to discuss what you want. But we appreciate. You got any last words, Mo?
No, you look beautiful today, though. Your face is like super radiant. Like, I don't know if it's like the makeup or whatever, but yeah, I'm liking what you did today.
Yeah, I try to keep myself, looking pretty good there. I do, but thank you. I feel
You're welcome.
You know what? I've been waking up every morning. We got to get out here, but I've been waking up every morning intentionally optimistic about the day for great things and keeping positive thoughts and positivity around me. Anything negative that comes up, I'm like, no, I'm not focusing on that. Let's see the good in it. Or there was a reason. So last Thursday and Friday, I was on my way to get Ariel from school. Something flew off a truck in front of me, hit my windshield, and cracked it. And I could have just been like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I didn't. I just started laughing like, oh, well, and I got on my insurance and filed a claim. I went and got it replaced today. Done. Like, why am I getting upset? No, I'm going to be happy. It's a crack in the windshield. I'll live. The car is still drivable. So I think that might be what it is.
That's why everybody was looking at you while you were walking in there. Okay. It's the peace. It's the glow. It's the whole nine.
You said it. That peace. Oh my God. We're going to talk about peace another time, but I got it. I'm going to tell you, peace. Yes, I have that. So we love you guys so much. Those that we know, those that we don't know, we love you. We thank you so much for supporting us and being on here. We love what we do. I love what I do. I know Morgan does, because we come on, we're like planning and doing it every day. So be back here next week when Stacy's going to be on, and we're going to have another good time. We're going to do all of that. Don't forget, tomorrow is Morgan's birthday. Go to her Facebook page, blow it up. Go to her Cash App and blow it up and bless her for her birthday. And we love you, Morgan. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll see you guys on next week. Have a wonderful evening. See ya.
Have a good one.
Glow, glow.